Building a business is like cutting a key that opens the door to your dream future. My dream future is just on the other side of this door, and I'm going to go through this door, but first I have to build a business that's going to get me into it. But here's the main problem. We actually don't know what this key looks like. Nobody has built your business before. Nobody knows what that key looks like. And the only way to cut the right key to get us through that door to our dream future is by trying a million wrong ones. This is Burning Brightly, a podcast for Christian moms who are feeling called to build a business and share their light with the world. I'm Bonnie Wiscombe, a life coach, mom, and entrepreneur, and I'm honored to be your guide as you face this business building adventure full of highs, lows, and everything in between. This is where we help each other find the courage to shine. Welcome to Burning Brightly, my friends. Today we're going to talk about cutting the right key for your business. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. But I love analogies. I love metaphors. I love finding real life examples of something that I'm trying to understand a little bit better in my business or in some metaphorical way. First, let me start off by asking you, have you ever used a key in a lock, like an actual key to open a door, that has not been cut correctly? Or maybe it's old? Keys like these can drive you crazy. They will get stuck in the lock, or they will scrape, make a really terrible noise. Maybe they won't turn at all, or they won't come out, and it just won't work right. And it can be maddening. You'll stick it in the door and twist and turn and try to do all the things to get the dang door to open, and it won't work. Conversely, when you use a perfect key, you don't even think about it. How many times do you open the door to your car, or turn on the ignition, or open your house door or your office door, and you don't even recognize that you're sticking a key in a lock and turning it because it's so seamless, rarely even thinking about it. Building a business is like cutting a key that opens the door to your dream future. Isn't that a beautiful analogy? My dream future is just on the other side of this door, and I'm going to go through this door, but first I have to build a business that's going to get me into it. But here's the main problem. We actually don't know what this key looks like. So recently my teenager lost the key to the kids' car that we have. So we had to go to the dealership and we had to get a new key cut. Now the reason they can do that is because they store the shape of the key in their system. And you have to show proof that you own the car, right? So nobody shady comes and gets a key and steals your car. But you just go in and you give them the VIN number and you show that your proof of ownership, and then they cut you a custom key that will fit your car. The problem with your business is nobody has that key. Nobody has built your business before. Nobody knows what that key looks like. So we get to cut it through trial and error. There's no master locksmith that knows how. Well, except God. We've talked about that before, right? We can check in with him and ask him about decisions, but by and large, it is our choice on how to build this business. And the only way to cut the right key to get us through that door to our dream future is by trying a million wrong ones. I hope that doesn't sound discouraging. It's not. It's a lot of fun, but it is important that we acknowledge that this is part of the process, because too many of us rush into business and we create this quick little key, so to speak, and we shove it in the lock and it doesn't work. And we're like, ugh, business isn't for me. I give up. No. If you had a key that didn't work in your door, you wouldn't just kick your door in. You would find a solution. You would go find the right key. So today we're going to talk about how to build that perfect key, and most importantly, how to know if the key is wrong. So if there's something structurally wrong with your business, or if maybe you're just not turning it enough. Maybe you just need to give it a little bit more effort. And this is a tricky thing to figure out because, like I said, nobody really knows how to build the business that you are building in your time, with your audience, with your talents, your expertise, your wording. It is all brand new, which is so exciting and also so maddening because you just wish someone would give you an instruction manual, like parenting. Why do I have to figure this kid out? Can't someone just tell me how to discipline this child, or what consequences to give them, or how to cheer them on? It's just like building this business because it's the first time in all of history that it's ever been done. So first, let's talk about how to know if you have the wrong key, so to speak. So what that looks like is something is broken in your business. There is some piece that needs to be changed. Just like a key has all those grooves in it, some little mountainous ridges and some little valleys, you have to know the right order of those and the right thickness of each in order to get it to turn in the lock. So that's what we're trying to figure out for our business. What is the right combination of factors that is going to get us where we want to go? Now, this can be tricky, knowing if it's the wrong key, so to speak, because in the early days of business, everything feels hard. It feels like you're shoving the wrong key in the lock every day. You're like, nobody's listening. Nobody's responding. Nobody's buying. That's totally normal. Now that I've been building businesses for many years, I know the difference between the good and the bad resistance, and I'll try to explain it to you the best I know how. But this just takes time to discover in your business. Eventually, you will figure it out and you will acknowledge, oh, when I tried this thing, it actually feels way easier. I still remember when I had this first analogy of the key because I remember whatever I was doing that day, that month, felt like just putting a key in a lock and turning it so simply. And I thought, wow, business can be this easy? I had no idea because it just felt like using the wrong key for so long. So that being said, here are a list of things that generally mean something is broken or not quite working right in our business. It feels like crickets all the time. Everything you say is met with silence. Again, this is a hard thing to figure out in the early days because you don't have an audience yet. Nobody's following you on social media. Nobody's on your email list. That's okay. But if you've been at it for a few months and it still feels like nobody's responding or nobody raises their hand when you offer something, there might be something to tweak there. Another sign that there's something not quite right is that even if you talk to people one-on-one, they don't resonate with your messaging. So sometimes it can be hard to get responses en masse, right? When we put a social media post out there or we send an email blast because it's just more noise to people. But if you talk to someone one-on-one, you get them on a call or you talk to them in person or wherever, if nobody ever resonates with what you're saying, there might be something wrong with your niche or your messaging or the way you're coming across. There also might be a problem if you've never gotten anyone results. Now, most of us get into the type of coaching we get into because we've had results ourselves. We've built a successful business or we've lost the weight healthily or we have great parenting skills ourselves. But if you haven't gotten anyone else results, again, there might be some tweaking to do within your messaging, within your offer, so that you can start getting other people results. And this is why I always recommend that people do at least a little bit of coaching for free at the beginning, because you can change your messaging and your niche as many times as you need to without any money on the line, right? You're just giving away your expertise for free until you really nail down what you want to do. Similarly, if you talk about your niche or your offer and you just consistently get blank stares, that might mean you need to tweak something. I always teach people that when you tell someone your niche, you tell them your elevator pitch, you should at least get some people lighting up. You should get reactions. If people's faces don't light up, at least occasionally, and say, oh, I need that, or I know someone who needs that, then it might not be worded quite correctly, or it might not be hitting the mark exactly. If you've had consult calls and they never end in sales. Now, again, as people go through our funnel, we start off with a whole bunch of leads, and as they trickle down into that conversion step at the bottom of our funnel, we're going to have much fewer people actually say yes to our offer. But if you do call after call after call and no one's saying yes, there might be one part of your key that is not cut correctly. You also might seem to not be able to find the right audience. You've changed your messaging a couple of times, you've explained yourself in different ways, and you just can't seem to find a following. That might mean something is broken. And then finally, even if you had a room full of your ideal clients, you don't know if you could get them to buy. This is a big one. If you've identified who your ideal client is, what their problems are, what their frustrations are, what their experience and their hesitations are, their objections, if you had a room full of those people, could you sell anybody? Again, if you're new to selling, this might be just because you don't have the skill of talking someone through their objections or of teaching them the before and after of how to get this transformation. But surely, even if you're a bad salesman, if you had 50 people in a room, do you think you could get someone to buy your coaching? If not, we might need to look at that. Okay, so those are a handful of things that might be a clue that something is not quite right in our business. Now, on the other side, let's talk about some signs that might mean everything is right in our business. We just need to turn up the volume. We just need more people, or we need to do more of something that is working right. If you have had success with yourself and at least one or two other people, so you've had a few free coaching clients who really liked your services, maybe you've had some friends and family you've coached and they've loved what you've done for them and they've raved and wanted to share your expertise with people, that is a great sign. It means something is working. Because of course, if we can get one or two people results, we can get 50 or 100 people results. We just need to find the right people and give them the right offer. You also might have the right key if, like I mentioned before, people hear your pitch and they get so excited and they either want to coach with you themselves because they desperately need that, or they know someone who does. That's a big green flag right there. Also, if you know where to find a large segment of your audience, if you've done a good job of identifying who you're marketing to, then you probably know where these people hang out. Do they hang out in certain Facebook groups? Do they hang out in certain Reddit threads? Some places in person. Would you know where to find these people? Again, you might not have all the confidence or the skills to do these things yet, but you do know that there's a market for you out there somewhere. You might be on the right track if your messaging seems clear, concise, and needed. So you want it to be very simple, very clear, very easy to understand, and calling out a specific segment of the population that needs what you have to give them. Even if your coaching program isn't perfectly laid out yet, you also want to know where you will start getting people results. And again, if you've gotten some people results, you probably already have an idea of this. But all of us want to have a really detailed coaching program that we know step by step how to take people through. But even if you don't have that, where would you start? Do you have the first 3 steps you could give them? Yeah, probably, because you know how your transformation goes, right? So that is an important sign that you're on the right track. You also would love to get in front of a room of your ideal clients. Even if you're still nervous, even if you're still not super confident in yourself, you know that with a room full of the right people, you could get people to sign up for your coaching because you have exactly what they need. And then finally, you have the right key if you want to give away your content and time for free because you love seeing people change. We don't have to do this forever. Please don't misunderstand me. We should be charging for our services. We show up better when we do. Our clients show up better when we do. But if you feel like you could do this all day long for free, then you know you're on the right track. It's something you're passionate about, something that people want, people need, and you know how to get them results. So that's a handful of ways of knowing that you're on the right path. Remember, just because you maybe lack confidence or belief or you're still struggling with your mindset, side note, we all are, always, it can seem like the wrong key, like you're beating your head against the wall, but only time will tell if it is the right one. So just keep going and watch for these signs. Most people, in my experience working with newer coaches, most people start off with having a few pieces in their business that work really well and look great, and other ones that need some tweaking. And this is why a business coach is so useful. Because yes, of course you can figure all this out on your own. It just takes more time. If you have someone experienced looking over the different pieces of your business, your coach can say, this looks great, this looks great, this looks great. This is a little confusing to me. Or why are you saying it like this? Or where is the conversion piece in your business, right? They can find the holes in that customer journey and they can set you up for success so that you don't have to waste as much time with trial and error. All right, so once we get that key in place and it is perfectly cut and it turns so smoothly for the first 1 client or 2 clients or 3 clients, then it's time to turn up the volume. And what this looks like is just increasing what you're doing within those 3 main phases of business. So if you've heard me explain them before, they look like attracting new leads, attracting people who are interested, nurturing those leads, giving them lots of value, encouragement, tips, helping them along their path, and ascend that relationship to where they are clients and you can help them find real success. So we'll talk briefly for just a second about these 3 different segments. The attracting portion of your business is absolutely the number 1 place we want to turn up the volume. It seems, in my experience, that everybody wants to stay in the middle. They just want to talk about the nurturing. Let's just write blog posts all day and do videos and talk to the people that already like us because that's comfortable and safe and fun. But if we're not constantly attracting new leads, getting strangers in front of our content, we are never going to have enough people to sell to. Any online business owner who's been in business for a while will tell you if you don't have thousands of people coming in, you will never get the volume of sales you want. Now, that being said, the better quality leads, the fewer people you need, right? If you're getting thousands and thousands of people coming into your funnel, but they are not the right demographic, or they don't have the same problems, or they don't need the transformation you're selling, then obviously your sales are going to be down as well. So you want high quality leads, ones that are your perfect ideal client, and you want lots of them because they always fall off as they go through that customer journey. If you have 1,000 people coming in, maybe only 1 or 2 will sign up as clients. So you want as many as possible. Then that's number 2 step, that nurturing step. We have to make sure we're doing a phenomenal job of nurturing. Are you talking to your audience every single week? Could you do it more? Could you do it twice a week or 3 times a week? What is realistic for you? Now, of course, we don't want to burn ourselves out, especially at the beginning. So start with a plan you can be consistent with, but as soon as you can turn it up, add more. As soon as you can talk more to them and encourage them more and give them more tips and tricks, do more because that is so helpful to them and will get them closer to becoming clients for you. So what does this look like? Well, it looks like maybe creating a community. Could you build a Facebook group or a group on school? Could you do an in-person event with potential clients? How could you get them to know and trust you better, quicker? How do you get to connect with them? Ask yourself, how have I gotten to a place where I was ready and willing to hire a coach myself or an expert in the past? Well, maybe it's because I saw her emails every week for a year. Maybe it's because I went to one of her in-person events and I really liked her energy. Maybe I saw her teach a video on somebody else's event and I really connected with her. So you want people to get as close to you as possible. And in my experience, that looks like video or in person. I don't think I've ever spent a significant amount of money on someone that I haven't seen talking. That was just words on a page. Video is key, and or in person. And then finally, that third step, that conversion step, we need more calls, more consult calls, more one-on-one touch points, more offers. If you're not offering people something to buy, no one is buying. No one can buy from you if you don't give them the opportunity to do that. So what does that look like for those of us who are coaches? It usually looks like some sort of a consultation call. Let me hear what your problem is, and I will show you how I can help you fix it, and we can decide if we want to work together. For content creators, that usually looks like some sort of a promotion. Are you going to run something for Black Friday or for Q4? Are you going to run something every couple of months so that people have an incentive to finally purchase from you? Side note, if your sales tactic is via one-on-one calls and people aren't coming to these calls, you might need to bring the calls to them in different ways. For example, people tend to be a lot quicker to sign up for group webinars where they can kind of hide in the background, not turn on their camera, instead of coming to a one-on-one call, because that's a lot of pressure. So could you offer webinars? Could you offer office hours? Could you offer live trainings where nothing is required of them, but you can still pitch to them? You can still tell them, this is the transformation I give. This is how I give it. This is how my program works. Getting that offer in front of them without asking for too much in return. That can be so helpful. So this is how we cut the perfect key for our business. And I promise you that once you find it and you slip it into the lock and you turn it seamlessly, you're going to want to just cry. It's going to feel so good. But don't give up until you get there. Little by little, tweak things that aren't working. And when you find things that work, do more of it. So I see a lot of coaches going, well, I just work nonstop and I don't have any clients. Okay, but clients come out the bottom end. There are so many steps throughout your customer journey that you could be tweaking to make sure they're moving. Are you actually getting new leads? If so, are they actually feeling nurtured? Like, are they falling off somewhere on this path? Where could we plug the holes on this journey to get more people out the other end? Remember, it's not just a one-step process. There's multiple steps, multiple ridges and valleys in your key. You need to tweak it just perfectly to get it going. But again, it's not impossible. It is totally possible. You just have to keep trying new things. And if you feel like you've been trying things for a long time and it's still not working, come talk to me during office hours. I would love to help you. We do them for free every Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I hope you'll join us one of these times. Have a great week, friends. Are you ready to start or grow your dream business? Click the link in the show notes to download the free starter guide to building a business or to schedule a free coaching call with me. And if you loved this episode, don't forget to leave a review and share it with a friend who might be feeling the call to burn a little brighter.